Well, hello, good morning. This is Jeff Hooks, and it is my privilege to welcome you to our VNI partner training for this Saturday, November 16th, 2019. Can't believe we're halfway through the month of November, but delighted to spend some time with you this morning. And let's go ahead and dive right into it. You know, we do these trainings. When I say we, it's myself, the leadership team. We do these trainings live every single Saturday. And, you know, the vision, the mission of this particular event that we take the time out of, all of us, we take our time out of our busy schedule to plug into this event. I think it's important to kind of remind, everyone why we do this. And I can promise you, for Gina, for Ed, for myself, for Cynthia, for Lisa Turner, for all the leaders that participate week in, week out, month in, month out in these events, it's not to hear our own voices. The mission is very simple. For those of you that are brand new partners that are just engaging in the VNI mission, the mission of assisting people in becoming beacons of health, hope, and abundance. Our goal is very simple. If you're brand new, we don't want to overload you and try to teach you everything that there is to know about VNI, in your first event, your first training that you plugged into. That's not the purpose, obviously. The purpose is to give you some of the key fundamentals, one or two ideas, one or two principles, so you can begin sharing VNI immediately. And the cumulative goal of these events over the next number of weeks is to help you get through the learning curve with your VNI business so that you can reach your goals. Okay, so that's the objective. Now, for those that are existing partners, to include our leadership team, you'll find that our leaders, Gina and Ed Bender, are, and I don't want to disqualify anyone else, but they are absolute best in class. I don't think they've ever missed an event during the 15, as of this live training, the 15 and a half, almost 16 months since I've been serving as president and COO. I truly can't tell you a time that they've ever missed an event. Now, why would they do that? You'd say that, well, all right, they're ambassador leaders working towards Crown Ambassador, making progress towards Crown Ambassador. Why would they be plugged into a, kind of a basic training with the fundamentals of the business when they're not leading the training? And if you're asking that question, it's a good question. The answer to that is very simple. They understand the power of leading by example. They recognize from experience that their team is going to do what they do far more than they're going to do what they say. Okay, well done is better than well said. So they're leading by example. Now, the second thing they're doing is the same reason I plug into events. And if I miss an event live that one of our leaders is conducting, I always go back and watch the training on replay. That's the beautiful thing about the VNI system for development for our partners, our training, leadership development, and support system, is that we record all these events. So if someone has a life commitment or another priority that they need to deal with, that's okay. You're not going to miss anything. We've got it all recorded. Okay, so that's exciting. That's no man or woman left behind. That's our mantra. So for our existing partners and emerging leaders and leaders, it's also about growth. So back to Ed and Gina is a perfect example. And there are others I could use. Cynthia Sauer is a perfect example. She very rarely ever misses an event. And I don't want to leave anybody else. There are others too. But it's not just for leading by example, but they recognize that leaders are learners. So if you're taking notes, I hope you'll take that down. Leaders are learners. Okay, let me see who all's plugged in here. Beautiful. Leaders are learners. Now listen, I want a quick rabbit trail. I just want to remind everyone, the beautiful thing about the platform that we use is no matter where you are, it's easy to access. You can dial in by phone, or you can access from the web or your smartphone or tablet. I do want to share for this Saturday training, if and when it's possible, please hit the link and join us from the internet. Join us from the web, from your smartphone, from tablet, from your PC, from your laptop, because that way you're watching the video and you can also see the PowerPoints. Not all the time, but most of the time we're pushing out a PowerPoint of some sort. And if you're on the phone, you can't see it. So that's just, again, if you're on the phone, that's awesome. That's why we have this platform. It's integrated so you can join us in whatever way you can, whatever's easiest. But unless you're driving, if at all possible, or you don't have an internet connection, but if at all possible, please join us from the web moving forward, because that way you're able to see the visual content. Okay, so if someone, and back to kind of the coaching, the leadership coaching of this, if one of your partners says, well, you know what, why should I plug into that Saturday partner training when most of the time, it's never exactly the same, but most of the time the leaders are covering some of the same fundamentals each week? What is your answer to that? Okay, rhetorical question, but here, I'll ask it this way. Do you have an answer for that? And the answer would be lead by example. And the answer would be none of us, and I'm raising both hands, have mastered these fundamentals. So what does that mean? That means every one of us has the capacity to learn and grow and to fill up our cup a little bit more. So then we can go out into the marketplace and spill all over everybody in a good way. Okay. So the idea is for our brand new partners, it's to teach you some of the basic fundamentals to help you get through the learning curve. And so you can begin sharing immediately. And for our existing partners, it's to teach you maybe one or two things that you could implement into your VNI business immediately to help you be more successful, to help you be more effective in your sharing, in your coaching, in your leadership. Okay. So hopefully that makes sense. Now, I'm going to come back to the idea of learning. Okay. One of the things that we're very intentional about at VNI, the company always has been, and we always will be, is creating an atmosphere, creating an environment that's conducive to learning, that's conducive to growth, that supports and encourages growth. Okay. And so the idea is, pardon me, I'm sorry. I've had a frog in my throat all morning, and I've only had 2 phone calls. Okay. So the idea is we want to, and I'm encouraging you to vision cast this forward as you build your team, no matter where you are. If you're a brand new partner, or if you're an ambassador, leader, going crown ambassador, we want to be intentional about it building, and you want to be intentional about building your team that is, from a culture basis, kind of core values, that is committed to learning. And here's why that's important, y'all. This is even for a part-time partner that wants to maybe just build a small customer base, maybe 3, 4, 5 customers, and get their product for free. In other words, have the commissions and bonuses, the thank you checks, as Gina Bender always calls it, and Ed. The thank you checks will offset the investment of the product for themselves and their family. Maybe that's just the initial goal, which is a wonderful goal. Some of our strongest partners, that was their initial goal. That was Cynthia Sauer's goal. She wanted to have thank you checks by sharing these amazing products. She wanted to have thank you checks that offset the expense of her family being on these VNI products. Okay, so that's, and then once she achieved that, which was immediate, then her vision expanded and she took it to the next level. So what's interesting is, even if that's the goal, we want to encourage an environment of learning and growth. Because what I've learned is that the learners of today are the leaders of tomorrow. I encourage you to write that down. And for our leadership team and emerging leaders, I want you to internalize that and think about that from your own perspective and as you're equipping your team moving forward. The learners of today are the leaders of tomorrow. Now let's look at the flip side of that principle. Those that stop learning today stop leading tomorrow. And I've experienced that. I've seen it happen through my entire career, doing business all over the world over the last 30 plus years, 32 years. I know that principle to be true. Learners today are leaders tomorrow. Those that stop learning today, in other words, they get to whatever point of success or achievement, or they get to their comfort zone and they start trying to just protect and preserve. They stop learning. What I've learned is there's no such thing as status quo. You can't build to a point and then just maintain. You're either growing or you're declining. And the way to do, and that's life. I mean, look at flowers. I mean, a rose doesn't grow and then stay beautiful. It's either in spring mode or it's in renewal mode, through the seasons. Now, here's the key. We want to stay committed as a team to learning. Okay. We want to encourage learning and growing and improving and recognize, not to put pressure on ourselves. It's not this performance-based stress, but it's out of enthusiasm. It's out of passion for the VNI mission, for blessing people with these products, blessing people with our business model, blessing people physically and financially. And so we want to focus on progress, not perfection. So in other words, we're not learning, out of some stressful performance-based anxiety to be good enough. No, we're learning so that we can be more effective at sharing the VNI mission and the VNI story with the world that needs it. So we want to enjoy the journey. So anyway, from a leadership perspective, even if you're brand new and you're already plugged in, so you're doing you're doing all the right things, just recognize how important it is to commit to learning every single day, learning, growing, and improving. And I'll say it one more time, just so you can make sure you write it down for those that are hopefully taking notes. The individuals that are learning today are leading tomorrow. Learning today equips and empowers you to lead tomorrow. The flip side of that principle is those that stop learning today stop leading tomorrow. If leadership is influence, and it is, leadership is the ability to influence. So you point leadership skills in a positive direction, like we do with VNI, then you're going to build a customer base and you're going to be impacting people's lives in a huge way, physically with these products, and then financially, folks. We talked about this earlier in the week on the monthly kickoff call, actually, which we had a week later because of our travel schedule with the Vision Tour. We talked about all them, and I'm not going to go back through that. If you missed that call this past Tuesday night, please listen to the replay, because we covered some specific from some articles that I'd read in the last few days, examples of men and women all over North America and around the world, actually, who are, I'll say, almost desperately, many of them are desperately seeking some positive financial opportunities. And many people are backed into a corner and they don't know what to do. So we're bringing a mission, assisting people in becoming beacons of health, hope, and abundance. Okay, that's impacting people's physical health and impacting people's financial health. And we know that when you impact the physical and financial health, you're actually impacting every area of someone's life. And the beauty of our model is it's all about contribution. It's all about service. It's all about giving before getting, like we talk about all the time. So make a commitment to learn and grow. The individuals that learn today are leading tomorrow. The flip side, you stop learning today, you stop leading tomorrow. Your influence will decline. Enjoy the journey. Enjoy the journey. Now, I'm going to go through this real quick as we get to the PowerPoint. I'm going to go over some principles that we cover, and I'm going to share some things in a little bit different way that hopefully will resonate. What I try to do is I take some of my lessons from the past week with many of our leaders, and I try to take those, I reflect on those lessons and then try to share some of my insights that I think would be of value to you and to your team. But one of the things we talk about, the business model: learn, apply, and teach. So what's the partner journey with VNI? What does that look like? Well, you learn some of the key fundamentals. You apply what you learn. Okay, remember, knowledge is not power, it's only potential power. Knowledge becomes powerful when you apply that knowledge, which is really wisdom, applied knowledge. So learn, apply what you learn today. Take one or two ideas. Don't take 3 or 4 or 5. Take 1 or 2 ideas that we cover today. Implement them immediately into your business. And then track your results, track your progress. Learn, apply, and then teach others what you've learned and applied. Because we really never master anything until we begin teaching others. That's true in every area of life. Think about it. As all of us parents, and we've got some grandparents on the line. You could read all the books in the world on parenting, and I did. I was, like many of you, I was an enthusiastic, new parent back in 2002, and I believe that's wise. That's the learning part. But you can read all the books in the world until you have children. You don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, you don't know, learn, apply what you've learned, and you can't apply in that example unless you have children. And then you teach others, and that's where grandparenting comes in, where you pass on the good and the mistakes, the positive lessons, the things you've learned. Hopefully we pass that on to our children, and we pray and hope that they'll listen when you become a grandchild. So that's one example of many of the process, the journey. And the same thing's true with VNI. So what does that mean? That means, and I've said it this way in the past, be a river, not a reservoir. Okay, I want you to stay with me on this. A river, not a reservoir. So a river, think about what a river does. Flowing water. It's continuing to move forward. All right. A reservoir, what does a reservoir do? A reservoir has some sort of tributary or a stream or something that comes into it, and then it holds the water. A reservoir holds the water. Okay. We don't want to hold knowledge just to accumulate knowledge for the sake of having more water in our reservoir. We want to be a river. We want to accumulate knowledge so we can pay it forward, so we can share that insight and that wisdom. It's all about adding value. That's the whole VNI mission, is about adding value to people's lives. So that's where as a team, that's where our leadership focus needs to be, on impacting people's lives in a positive way. We want to be an encourager to the world. We want to shine the light in the dark world that needs it. We want to shine inspiration and motivation in every way we possibly can to a world that's full of a lot of negativity and a lot of darkness. Like Bill always says, we want to be a beacon of light. That's why Bill and Kim and our team selected the lighthouse, which is part of our brand logo. We want to be a beacon of light in a dark world that needs it. And so the way you do that is you're a river, not a reservoir. We don't learn just for the sake of accumulating knowledge. We learn so that we can pay it forward. Learn, apply, teach. The teach is the paying it forward. The teach is the river, not the reservoir. Okay, so here's the key, and I hope especially for our emerging leaders, but this is so true for all of us. I want to encourage you to ask yourself this question: what did I learn? No, two questions. Let me put it to you this way. This is off of some reading that I've done this past week, and it wasn't planned. What have I learned today that I can teach tomorrow? I'm going to back up. I'm going to ask the question 2 ways. And this is a great question for all of us. It's a self-reflection question. What did I learn today, or what have I learned today that I can apply tomorrow? That's question number 1. What have I learned today that I can apply tomorrow? Question number 2, what have I learned today that I can teach tomorrow? Now, these thoughts, these insights are only valuable if we take some time to run with them after the training. You know, that's where you take some personal reflection time every day, some quiet time. What have I learned today that I can apply tomorrow? What have I learned today that I can teach tomorrow? Okay, let's look at that same concept, learn, apply, teach, in one other way. What did I learn yesterday that I've already applied today, or that I'm going to apply today? What did I learn yesterday that I'm going to teach today? Now, I want you to think about, for our leaders, and all of your leaders, you wouldn't be on here, think about how powerful if all of us engaged in that intentional reflection every day. What am I learning today that I can apply tomorrow? What am I learning today that I can teach tomorrow? What did I learn yesterday that I'm applying today? What did I learn yesterday that I can teach today? Imagine the compound effect over the course of a month, 3 months, 6 months, a year with your growth. The learners of today are the leaders of tomorrow. Those that stop learning today stop leading tomorrow. It's all connected. I hope you realize I'm not just winging it. I'm not just getting up here talking. So engage, focus on that. Go back through this training and go back through your notes, and I think it's going to help you. Now, moving forward, we talk about the recipe for success. And some of y'all have heard us teach on this before. Success is doing three things: the correct things correctly long enough. Okay? Success is doing the correct things correctly long enough. So what are the correct things? Okay, every Thursday night, in fact, this past Thursday night, the presentation that Bill and I did, the product and business overview presentation, every single presentation for our guests that are learning about the partner opportunity and what it takes to build a customer base and what it takes to build the VNI business, we talk about the fact that you use the products every day, you engage with these amazing products, use them every day. That's step one. Okay. Step two is we share. Okay. That's the whole idea, is to share these products with a world that needs them. And then we teach others to do the same. Use, share, teach. Okay. Now, so success is doing the correct things correctly long enough. Okay, so what are the correct things? Use, share, and teach. Use the products, share the products, teach others to do the same. Those are the correct things. Now, what is an example? You see, think about that formula. Success is doing the correct things correctly long enough. Success is not. Now, again, what is success? Success, start there. Success is your dream, your goal, your vision, whatever that is for you. Okay, it might be, your goal might be, you know what? I want to go executive manager as fast as I can. I want to create $1,000 a month residual income where my VNI products for myself and my family are paid for, and I've got a few $100s a month extra to pay off credit card debt. That might be your vision. And that is a wonderful dream. That's a wonderful vision. And then let's put a plan in place and take action and make that happen. That's the goal. See, I always tell people, you know, when you think about why are you building your VNI business, why are you engaging in the VNI mission, you want to take enough time to identify at least one dream, one reason that you're willing to fight for, that connects your head to your heart. See, I'm a left brain guy. I'm very left brain, but I'm also a heart guy. I'm very passionate about what I do, and you are too. The key is we want to lead and build with passion and emotion that's been intentionally thought about. So again, what do you want to achieve with VNI? And here's the question: how bad do you want it? How important is it for you to take the next 5 years and replace your full-time income on a part-time basis and potentially have the freedom to be your own boss, if that's your goal? How bad do you want it? How bad do you want to be out of debt? I'm telling you right now, I have some debt. I'm getting married in just a couple of weeks, and I'm bringing debt into that marriage, and I don't like it. So I am prayerfully working every day, not out of desperation, but out of inspiration, to whittle that, to put a plan in place, to whittle that away, the bondage of debt. That's just me. But I can promise you, I am passionate personally on getting out of debt, because I've tasted freedom before with no debt, and it tasted pretty good. It tasted amazing, to be honest with you. It tasted amazing. And I'll always be honest with you. So, the scripture talks about the borrower is a slave to the lender. And that's something I'm passionate about. So what are you passionate about? You want to identify a dream that you're willing to fight for. I can promise you, it is nothing for me to get up on a Saturday morning and work, and be doing this training with all of you. Because I am fired up about where we're going, and I'm excited for the people we're going to bless and touch. And I know with absolute clarity, as we expand this mission around the world, that's going to help me get where I want to go with some of my own personal goals. So it's all tied together. So I'm passionate about it. And that's where we want you to be. You want to be to a point of passion. So success is doing the correct things correctly long enough. Success is your definition of success, whatever that is. Now, the success is not doing the incorrect things correctly long enough. See, if you're not doing the correct things, but you're staying in here for years after year after year after year, you're not going to reach your goal of success, your definition of success. Does that make sense? Success, success is doing the correct things correctly long enough. It's not doing the incorrect things correctly long enough. So we don't want to kid ourselves. We always want to be objective. That's where mentoring comes in. That's where coaching comes in. If I'm on your team and I'm working hard and I've got my vision of success, this is what I'm shooting for. My vision is to achieve this, whatever that is, and I'm passionate about it. And you've taken time to ask me questions and help me memorialize that and have clarity on, again, my vision of success and yours and everyone you work with and teach and mentor should be something that they're willing to fight for. They're excited about it. I mean, let's get excited about our goals. Let's get excited about VNI is a blank canvas. Our mission is a blank canvas, and every single partner has all the paint in the world and all the paintbrushes, and they can paint what they can create by the grace of God, whatever you want to create. But it takes passion, takes intentionality, takes effort, takes persistence, takes resilience. You're going to have good days. You're going to have bad days. You're going to get disappointed. That's life. That's true. Look, that's for all of us every day anyway. So we might as well have some of the ups and downs of life doing something that makes an impact in a way that helps us benefit from our efforts, where we can achieve some of the things that we want for ourselves and our family. Okay, does that make sense? So back to the point, success, doing the incorrect things correctly long enough. Sometimes people have the misperception that I can if I just hang in there, if I just hang in there over and over and never, and then it's just going to magically happen. And it's not. That's where coaching and mentoring comes in. Bill Downs, our founder and chairman and CEO, just chatted. Success requires an intelligent, persistent adherence to achieving a purpose. Success requires an intelligent, persistent adherence, an intelligent, persistent focus, an intelligent, persistent commitment to achieving a purpose. That's so true. So what's your purpose? A dream. That's your definition of success. A dream that you're willing to fight for. So important, so important. So success is doing the correct things correctly long enough. Now here's the thing, let's look at it from the other side. Success is not doing the correct things correctly. The long enough, we can't miss the long enough. And I can't tell you from the heart, I can't tell you how long it's going to take you. Here's the reality. I do know if you do the correct things correctly long enough, you're going to reach your goals. You got to stay the course. You got to pay the price. Here's the truth. Here's the absolute factual reality. Some of us we all have to grow in areas different. We all have we all have the good news. We all have the capacity for growth, and we all need to grow to reach our potential. So that ties into everything we've talked about so far. So if I have more growth, more personal growth and professional growth than you do, then it's going to take me longer, if we have the same goal. Doesn't mean I can't reach that goal. It means I got to pay the price. I got to put it, we all got to pay the price. The farmer he or she wants to reap the harvest. They got to put it in, they got to put in the work. They got to plant the seeds. They got to do the work through the seasons. Okay. So it's all focused on, again, achievement. It's all focused on doing the correct things correctly long enough. Okay. Now, one more time, just to make sure everybody gets this. What are the correct things? Use the products every day, share the products, teach others to do the same. Everything we've talked about, if you'll go through all this over and over and over, I promise you the light bulb will go off. Just your definition of success, being passionate about it. I've seen people, we've seen VNI partners achieve amazing things, and they don't have a clue. All they know is they love the products, they felt a difference, and they're passionate about helping people and their dreams. They've got a dream, that at least one reason that they're a dream that they're willing to fight for. They don't know the product knowledge. They can't describe protozoan technology. They know we have scientific validation. They know we've got the clinical proof, but they're just excited. I think sometimes we need to lead with more emotion than logic. And that comes from a place of passion. Passion to pay the price, passion to make an impact, passion to make a contribution, passion to help people. Okay, that's the power of purpose, as Bill was just talking about, the power of passion. Okay, success is doing the correct things correctly long enough. Now, the correct things, product knowledge, I'm going to go ahead and say this. Folks, product knowledge for VNI partners is not going to build your customer base. It's not. You can take the next 6 months and memorize and try to be Bill Downs and memorize everything that there is on that label, and it's not going to take you one step forward closer to your goal. What we want to help you do is focus on those things, use, share, and teach others to do the same. If product knowledge would build your customer base and help you go, director, then we would have our science team teaching on product knowledge every single Saturday. And we would never talk about any of the things that we talk about. Product knowledge by itself is not going to build your business. Okay? We've got the scientists. That's our founder, our visionary founder, our chairman, and our CEO. Look, between his experience and his co-founder, our co-founder, and our scientific advisory board, check, 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 check. Yes, we've got the best. So that should give us confidence, which it does, that when we use these products and we share these products, we're sharing something extraordinary that nobody else has got. But our task, our responsibility, which is the reason Bill invited me into the VNI family, Bill and Kim did. The reason Ed and Gina introduced me to Bill and Kim all these years ago is we have a job to do. And it's not to try to be scientists. And this is even for our healthcare practitioners. It's to introduce people to these products and let the products do the magic. That's what we need. So everything we focus on, success is doing the correct things correctly long enough, is designed to equip and empower you to build a massive customer base, to build a tremendous business. Okay, that's the goal. Now listen, I've got lots of chat comments. I promise I'm going to come, like we did a couple weeks ago, I'm going to come back to the chat at the end of the training. So no man or woman left behind. Lots of engagement. So this is great. Now I'm going to start my screen share, and we're going to pick up on a couple things from play from current slide. All right, so we're gonna touch on a couple things that are, and by the way, Cynthia, you just sent me a wonderful chat that I'm gonna check on in a second. Cynthia Sauer and I had a conversation. Now, it was a digital conversation back and forth yesterday that was really beneficial I think for both of us based on our feedback. And it got me thinking about, no matter how, and look, they're very, on any given day, I'm going to say Cynthia Sauer shares VNI with new people as much or more than any partner in the VNI family. So what is that? What am I saying? As an executive director moving forward to vice president, there's nobody that shares more day in and day out than Cynthia Sauer. And yet we were talking about ways that we can all kind of improve and be a little bit more effective in the sharing. Now think about this. Think about it. So Cynthia just texted me 70 dials yesterday. So she reached out to 70 people yesterday. Now listen, I want to remind you, on your VNI Life app, it's also in your back office, but your VNI Life app, under the training section, there are 3 trainings: how to share part 1, 2, and 3. I encourage you to go through those. Please, 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 please. It's not everything there is to teach, but I had a conversation with an emerging leader just Wednesday, a scheduled call, and actually on Cynthia Sauer's team. And she, in fact, I'll go ahead and say it's Maria. She's amazing. And we were talking about how to continue to expand your warm market, how to never run out of individuals to share VNI with. And guess what? And of course, Maria knew this. Part 1, how to share training part 1, that's what the entire hour is focused on. How to never run out of your warm market. So I want you to realize the resources are there. The resources are there. Now, remember, sharing activities impact activity. At the end of the day, as VNI partners, for you to reach your dream, for you to reach your vision, for you to reach your goals, it's all about your goal of success, your definition of success. Success is doing the correct things correctly long enough. In order for you to reach that vision, it's going to come down to sharing activity. That is what the VNI compensation plan, the thank you checks, that's what everything's created, is to reward you and your team for sharing these amazing products. That's the way we're going to get, that's our mission. That's the way we're going to get these products out into the marketplace. So you want to be passionate about your vision and goal. You want to be passionate about sharing activity, because that's impact activity. The more you share, the more you're going to grow. Don't kid yourself. If I'm sharing, I could be studying product knowledge, I can be watching videos, I can be organizing my desk, I can create a filing system. But if I've only shared the VNI products with 1 new person in the last month, wow, there's not much that can possibly happen. I'm not putting myself in a position to win. Think about the farmer that just throws out a little half handful of seed. What kind of crop are they going to have? It's the exact same concept. So be intentional with your sharing. Share with a purpose. Remember, it's a sorting process, not a convincing process. Now, for those of you that are new partners, that takes the pressure off a little bit, doesn't it? It means you don't have to sell and convince everybody on these products. We're looking for people that are looking for better health physically, better health financially. So it's a sorting process. It's like panning for gold. Just focus on the activity, focus on the sharing activity, and you're going to find that gold. Focus on the sharing activity, and you're going to find those individuals that you can help, that are interested in helping themselves with the products in the business. That's the beautiful thing about it, folks. We have a massive need. I want to share this with you. I mentioned this on our product and business overview. I did a call earlier this week, and I want to make sure nobody misses this. And it was with a traditional business entrepreneur friend of mine who is taking a look at the VNI model. And he's already engaged in the products. He recognizes the scientific validation. And we had a discussion. I'm just going to read this from you. We had a discussion. I'm not going to pretend like I'm not reading about, and I was taking notes. He's a friend I've known he's a very successful, very accomplished guy. speaks publicly all over the place in entrepreneurial workshops and things of that nature. And he was talking about, we were talking about the VNI model. Okay, the VNI, the partner opportunity, said differently. And we were talking about the fact that so many men and women are spending tens and hundreds of thousands of dollars on franchises. Why? Because they want freedom. They want an opportunity. They want to be their own boss. They want to have the opportunity to create some financial, freedom for themselves and their family. And so they are betting the farm, and again, no disrespect, but I mean, they're spending, in some cases, hundreds of thousands of dollars on, pizza franchises and things of that nature. And think about what you've got at your fingertips. I think that's the mistake. I think sometimes, Ed Bender talks about this a lot with me. Sometimes we don't value the opportunity with VNI because it comes so cheap from a financial standpoint. I think if every one of us, and if every one of you would pretend in your mind and your heart that you borrowed $1 million to buy a McDonald's franchise, and build it. You pretend that you invested $500,000 to have the opportunity to build your VNI business. How differently would you treat it? What would that do to your commitment level? What would that do to your share activity? Would you share with one person every 2 or 3 weeks? Or would you do what Cynthia did yesterday? Think about that. If we treat this like a business, it responds like a business. And it's a mission-driven business. So I was having this conversation, and we talked about what this is how he phrased it. He said, things that I look for when identifying a viable business. He said, I look for certain things. And he said, the VNI model, from what I see, this is what it brings to the table. And by the way, I'm going to tell you this. I have to. This individual owns a company that he's franchising. So in other words, he's selling franchises, and I'm not going to get into any more details on that. But for his business, and it's nothing to do with health and wellness. It's industrial. Now, he said with the VNI model, he said you've got an existing huge demand for these products. 75% of adults in North America are already supplementing. So there's a huge demand, and there's a huge awareness for the need. That's a big thing, number one. Number two, he said residual income stream for your partners. There's a wonderful opportunity to create a residual income stream. From his perspective, it's recession resistant. Okay? People care about their health, no matter if it's an up economy or down economy. He said there's basically no fixed overhead, no heavy capitalization required. You don't have to buy a franchise. You don't have to rent a building. You don't have to. He said no employees, no legal exposure. No cyclical income. The ups and downs of being in a trend business. Like real estate. Sometimes in real estate, there are people that make money in the ups and downs in real estate, but sometimes if you're in a certain segment of that industry, and I could use other examples, cyclical income like farming, where you're dependent on the seasons and weather changes, etc. There's no cyclical income. Scalable. You can build the VNI business as a partner as big as you can dream and as big as you're willing to work for it, based on your learning, your growth, your capabilities, your skills, and your willingness to improve those. It's very scalable. Huge upside potential. Freedom and flexibility. Partners can work at part-time or full-time. Exclusive access to proprietary, unique products with innovative intellectual property, including patents and patent pending, and unprecedented scientific validation and the products deliver proven results. I was just taking notes from this. This is straight from my notes. And this was his last point that we talked about. It's mission-based. It's all about contributions. The only way you can succeed as a VNI partner is by helping other people. And the more success you have, the higher you achieve up the PIN system towards Crown Ambassador and beyond, the more income, the more thank you cash flow you receive is a direct reflection on your contribution and how many people you've helped. So what his point was, and what we talked about was, there is a mental, psychological, emotional, heart, soul, spirit reward that comes with that. Let's face it, there are a lot of careers, with no disrespect, there are a lot of ways to make income where you're not really making a huge contribution in society. Not that it's not, you're blooming where God planted you, so that's important. But, I don't want to give examples because I don't want to step on toes, but I've had jobs, in my career that I really didn't feel like I was helping people. I was just doing my job, and I needed to, because I needed to pay my bills and take care of my family and stuff. So anyway, think about that. So when you recognize what you have your hands on, engage your heart and get passionate. Share with more emotion and less logic. It's not so much what we say, it's how we feel about what we say. So it's a sorting process, not a convincing process. We're looking for people who are looking. We're looking for people that want more out of life. We're sorting and looking for people that have a need or desire that we can help them with. I'm gonna say that one more time. If you're on the phone and you can't see this, we're looking for people that have a need or desire that we can help them with. That's the key. Now, how do you know if they've got a need or desire? Ask them questions. Ask them questions. Think about this. This was the discussion. So this is so Cynthia and I were talking about this yesterday. I'm just going to use this as an example. This is one example. The only way to connect with someone's need or desire is to ask them questions during the sharing process. So Cynthia shared with a very sharp lady that was working part-time at a big retailer, a big nutritional retailer. And, in the conversation, Cynthia was asking questions. Why do you, it was basically, I believe it was her second job, and she's also going to school. So she was asking, and I wasn't there, but she was asking conversational questions. Well, why do you work here? How long have you worked there? How many hours do you work? She was just very conversational. And then we were talking about some good questions. Once you find a need or desire, the goal, not in a manipulative way, but with integrity, with heart, with passion, with compassion, is to show how the VNI vehicle, the VNI model, can help that individual get where they want to go. Our story is important, and you want to share the story. And we've got the tools that share the story. We've got the VNI Life app that make it easier than ever to share the story. We're not going to get into that today. But it's really when we share, it needs to be about them. What's in it for them? Where do they want to go? What are their priorities in life? It's not as much about in the sharing process. There's a time for it, but it's not as much about Prodivite or Bill Downs or Jeff Hooks or Ed and Gina Bender or our scientific advisory board. It's not, it's about them. What are their needs? What are their desires? And the only way you can discover those needs and desires is to talk less and listen more, is to ask questions. What is it? Where do you want to go? And so back to that Cynthia example that she and I were going back and forth, learning from each other and talking and kind of comparing notes. Think about this. You've got an individual that's working two jobs. They're moonlighting at this retail nutritional store, and they're going to school. So this is somebody that has a sincere desire for some positive change in their life, and they're willing to do something about it. This is a young lady that's working hard that Cynthia was talking to. So you ask questions. How long have you worked there? What are you doing? Well, listen, let me ask you something. If I could show you how to take $150 a month investment in your health, okay, as an example, that'd be a brain reward and a Prodivite subscription. If I could show you, or a Prodivite and an Enzorb, if I could show you, plus tax and shipping, if I could show you how to take $150 a month investment in your health and turn that into $1,000 to $2,000 a month residual cash flow, Would that be something you would be interested in exploring? You see, that's the invitation. Invite, share, follow up. I think sometimes, when possible, if we can engage more in connecting with people. We talk about make a friend, find a need, transfer the feeling. Make a friend, find the need or desire, and transfer the feeling. So if we could spend more time on the make a friend, find a need or desire, and then engage in the invite, share, follow up, you're going to be more effective. Now, again, the key is if you're brand new, don't you worry. You just share. You can't say the right thing to the wrong person. You can't say the wrong thing to the right person. But as you're sharing, the more you share, the better you're going to get. And that's where some of these tips come into play. So to the degree that we can ask questions, and product centric, hey, what are you doing? What do you, and we've talked about this in how to share part 1, and this was part 2. If you could ask, think of some good questions that you want to memorize and have them available whenever you need them. Hey, Cynthia, what are you doing for your, do you have a health and wellness plan? And what does that look like? Well, I don't really know what you mean. Well, do you supplement, for example? Do you supplement and exercise? What are you doing to protect your health? What are you doing to increase your vitality and your energy? That's a great question. And then you listen. And the more we can get other people talking about what they want out of life, the needs and desires, the more we can engage in conversation and ask for needs, and listen for needs and desires, and then share VNI from a perspective, not what's on the supplement facts, but from a perspective of what's important to that individual you're talking with. And here's the key. We all have a lot of similarities as human beings, obviously, but excuse me, everybody's in a different place. If you're talking about somebody that is their number one priority, let me make a point this way as we head down towards the finish line. If somebody you're sharing with, you're getting ready to share with, if their number one priority was, I want to create an additional, I'm looking for a part-time job. I want to create an additional $500 a month to fix my car. It needs some service work, but it's still working, and to pay off credit card debt. If that individual is waking up in the morning and that is their absolute mission in their lives, don't spend 20 minutes talking to them about proteasome technology. You follow me? Talk to them about how they could take our amazing products, and on a part-time basis, by sharing and caring, they can reach that goal. We can show them how to create that type of an income on a monthly basis if they're willing to put in the effort. And they're in complete control of their schedule. Meet people where they are based on their needs and based on their desires. Okay, flip side. If you're sharing with somebody and their absolute commitment, maybe they lost a loved one from disease, and they're thinking about their own mortality like we all should. And they're thinking about, from a stewardship standpoint, I want to take better care of myself. And they've been researching supplements, and they joined a gym, or they started walking around the block every day. Then we don't want to talk to that individual about going director and beyond. We don't want to talk to that individual about the Envoy Experience trip. We want to talk to that individual about nutrition that gets in and starting to take the product every single day. Does that make sense? So that's really kind of what I want to wrap up with today. We want to say less to more people, but that means listening for needs, listening for desires, and then sharing from a place of discernment. Sharing from a place, again, it's at the end of the day, if you're brand new, this might be a little bit deep for you, so it's okay. Just recognize we want to share every day. Invite people to learn about the VNI products. We want to share the information, and we want to follow up. But as you share, take it outside of, it doesn't matter if somebody says yes or no as you share, because we're looking to help people. Think about sharing as part of our mission and think about what's in it for them. What could the VNI products or what could the VNI business do, our mission as our business? What could that do to help that individual get where he or she wants to go? That's, folks, that's the secret sauce as you go from emerging leader to leader. And so all this information, be a river, not a reservoir. Learn, apply, and teach others. But the only way you can teach is by applying it yourself. So we've covered a lot. Let me go look. I'm going to stop the screen share. We're going to look at the comments, and we're going to wrap up. Okay. All right. How cool, by the way, how cool is this? I mean, I want to blow the whistle real quick as we wrap. We're done in 3-4 minutes. How cool is it to have our founder, our chairman, and our chief executive officer? And that, by the way, it's not just Bill, it's Kim, our co-founder, member of the board of directors, and our chief business officer, taking time out of their Saturday morning to join Ed and Gina Bender, our #1 income earners, to join you and me to plug into this community platform and learn from each other. How cool is that? So Bill mentioned this earlier. I'm going to say it again because it was powerful. Success requires an intelligent, persistent adherence. You could substitute adherence for commitment, passion. Success requires an intelligent, persistent adherence, an intelligent, persistent commitment, an intelligent, persistent passion to achieving a purpose. Let's lead with more emotion and less logic. And I'm talking to myself too. Passionate about our purpose, knowing what we want to do and why we want to do it. This is also from Bill. Obstacles are those distracting things you see. This is powerful. When you take your eyes off your objective. Obstacles are those distracting things you see when you take your eyes off of your objective or your purpose. Stay focused. Stay focused on your mission. Distractions are easy. Excuses are easy. Focus is not. So that's what we want to work on. All of us. Okay. All right. Cynthia made some wonderful comments. I'm gonna read it the way she wrote it. And you all know Cynthia. She said, "You are setting us free to be sharing fools," and with 5 exclamation points. Yeah, and Bill's talking about, the investments that we've made, the VNI Life app, all these tools and resources. By the way, what do y'all think about the new enhancements to the profile section for your partners in the back office? We've also got some new tools that are going to be revealed next week, and I'm not going to tell you what they are, but you're going to be blown away. That make it easier to share information on the individual products. So how about that? And as Bill said, we make that investment for you to go out and reach your dreams and spread your wings. Unprecedented competitive advantage. All right, this is awesome. Lots of good comments. Y'all, I appreciate everything. I know you are too, or you still wouldn't be here. We are blessed right now at effectively the 6-year mark. I mean, if you look at pre-launch, we are blessed to be in a position to make such a contribution to the world. And as we do that, I want you, each one of you, to be comfortable in also focusing and praying and thinking about what's in it for you and your family. Because again, because of the mission, your vision and your goals, what you want to achieve, and that can be financial, it's okay. I need for my family, for my church, for my, whatever it is, I need an extra $2,000 a month coming into the house, or whatever it is, to pay off debt, children's education, supplement retirement. It's okay to have a financial goal for yourself, because the VNI mission, the only way you can achieve that goal is by blessing people. The only way you can achieve that goal is by assisting people in becoming beacons of health, hope, and abundance. So Y'all have a blessed day, an awesome weekend. And I'm going to close with this. What did I learn yesterday that I am applying today? What did I learn yesterday that I'm teaching others today? Be a river, not a reservoir. And then also, what am I learning today that I'm going to apply tomorrow? What am I learning today that I'm going to teach tomorrow? It's about progress, not perfection, and we want to enjoy the journey. Y'all have an awesome, awesome day and a great weekend. God bless. Take care. Oh, real quick. Monday night, directors and above. It's a brand new training. An email went out yesterday. There'll be two other reminders between now and Monday night at 8 o'clock, because we want to do it the same, first and third Monday at 8 o'clock, the product call. And now this new call, it's advanced training. And it's only for directors and above, because if you haven't built a team yet, then what we're going to be talking about doesn't, we all need to continue sharing and caring. But this is advanced training just for directors and above. So if anybody's not a director, get with your upline success coach. Make sure you've got a clear plan, and let's get to work. I'll help you every step of the way. Let's get you director. But it's only for directors and above, and we can see who's on the call. So please respect that. It's advanced training. That's at Monday. That's Monday at 8 o'clock. So that's the next event. Have a great weekend. Take care and God bless. Bye-bye.